Hey everybody, this is Big Will, and I'm going to be doing another one of my grading videos today, but I'm going to do it a little differently. We have here a mod era Wonder Woman. This is issue number 200, a 52 big page book. And you know how we all say grading is subjective and it's just an opinion of someone? Well, I've already done a few of these videos, so I thought I'd try something different and have a second person grade with me. And let me make him big so he can introduce himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Alec of White Whale Comics.
Hey, my hair is doing funky things. Hey, what's up? My name's Alec. I run a channel called White Whale Comics, and Big Will asked me to jump on here, so I'm going to try this out, see how it goes.
Yep.
Now, I will say, I'm not, a professional grader, obviously. I'm not even the most confident amateur grader, but I do have this book, which is a bit of an older one, but I think, the information still is relevant. If people aren't aware of this, it's a great handy tool. It's just got like pictures that you can reference that shows you the grade, and it points out what causes the grade to drop in those pictures. And it also comes with this handy thing, if I can find it. That gives you it's a color, page color chart, so you can hold it up to pages.
Cool. I want one of those.
Yeah, pretty handy. So I'm still working my way through this, but I will do my best to offer my opinions.
All right, let me just. JB answered me back. Let me tell him I already got somebody. I don't know if it'd be good to have more than one person or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, since this is an experiment, who knows?
Yeah, so we'll try it with just one person and see what happens. All right. So anyway, what I'm going to do is make this be our screen. So you can see Alec, and he's going to make critiques and comments and figure out. Let's see if we can't grade this even better with two different people grading it. So Alec, I don't know if, like I said, if you've watched any of my stuff or not, but the reason this Adventures of Superman is here is just so I can get a little bit of elevation right here, so I can actually pick the pages up and turn them without doing that number right there where I'm,
yeah. Yeah, so many books have that reader mark right in the cover or the back cover where this is like a tiny little divot where someone's thumb was.
Yeah. But anyway, what I like to do is I start off with my black light to see if there's any restoration and just where all the creases and such are at. Now, this is one thing I know you won't be able to see anywhere near what I can see. Matter of fact, you may not be able to see it at all, but I generally...
Yeah, it looks like a giant purple dot on my screen, but...
I generally just go around the cover and see if there's anything that like color touch or looks like something's added, and there's not.
And color touch is definitely something that happens a lot in comics and is very easy to miss when you're submitting books. Like, I've been very lucky, and I have not run into that myself when submitting books, but I know that happens all the time, and people get really angry.
My luck finally ran out one time, and I got hit with color touch on one of my Wolverines. But this one looks good as far as the front cover. So I'm now going to pick it up. And while I have it up, let's see. It's got a little bit of a shine still. Not major.
Those black light flashlights aren't very expensive. You can pick them up
anywhere. No, this one was $15, and I got it at Walmart. So now still there's a little bit of gloss.
Yeah.
But it is nowhere near what it should be. Now there's a stain here at the bottom, along the entire bottom. You probably can't see it.
I can see it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
It goes along the bottom. But aside from that and a little bit of dirt on this white back cover, I don't see any color touching or no holes, no pieces added, it seems.
Is that a water stain, or is that just
It
Dirt.
looks like a coffee stain,
Does it go
but
through
it
into the
could be
pages?
water. But it's a brown line going this way.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it. Does it go into the pages, into the book?
Well, we're about to find that out. I always start off first by laying the book down and counting the pages. Now, most books are just your regular, 8 and 8 times 2, 16 and 16, 32-page books. But some books are different. This is a 52 big pages, but they trick you. There's actually not 52 pages in the book. There's 48 if it has everything that it's supposed to have, and then the front and the back cover, which if you count both of those, one side and the other side, you come up with 52. So first we got to count.
Yeah, and this isn't something you really have to worry too much with the more modern comics, but definitely the older comics you get, the more pages are missing for sure.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12, and then our staples, which are, I don't know how well you can see them, but they're right there and there.
So 12 and 12 is 24, and
yeah. So 12 and 12 is 24. So we should have another 12 pages after the staples. They are discolored. There is very, very light tearing right where the staples poke through the pages, but no rust whatsoever. So now we got to continue with another 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 and 12.
Now theoretically, if
Yes.
you count to the staple and all the pages are there, then the second half should be there, because otherwise the page would be loose. I mean, a page could be ripped or incomplete or something, but am I thinking about that incorrectly?
Yes, once you count before the staples, a wrap, it means it's one big giant piece of paper, and they just staple it and fold it in half. So if you count 8 pages before the staple, you should have 8 pages after the staple. And if that amounts, you multiply each one of those by 2, then add them together. And if that amounts to the total number of pages that are supposed to be in the book, you have no missing pages. But now you can have 7 and 7, but it not be complete because you'd be missing one wrap. In other words, one giant page. But that's only if you know how many pages are supposed to be in a book. So your standard books in your Bronze Age and your Silver Age have 8 and 8. 8 pages before the staple, 8 pages after the staple, 8 and 8, 16. And then 16 and 16 is 32 pages. So, and if you count the front and back cover, that's 33, 34, 35, 36 pages make one comic of the Bronze and Silver Age. You get into the later stuff that changes sometimes, and definitely in the Golden Age, man, you might have weird stuff with there.
Yeah, for sure.
So you can't just go on something that you have to find out exactly how many pages are in there. Now, as far as any rips and tears, you'll notice these holes in the bottom, though that's normal. for older books. That's how they got them off the press.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a printing press thing.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about those. But as far as any additional stuff, I didn't see. I don't know if you did, Alec. I didn't see any tears, any holes, or anything when I was flipping through the pages.
Yeah, obviously, again, you're getting a much better look, but I didn't see anything that really stood out to me. I was kind of looking.
Yeah, and I already told you about the staples. Now, here's the question. You notice it's darker here along the edges, and then it gets to a lighter color in the middle. But we have to go with the darkest part and see what color is this. Now, if you look at the owl card you have, it does not have cream. It has tan. CGC's made up cream. It means tan. I don't know why they didn't go with tan, but they went with cream. So our options are white, off-white, white, off-white, cream to off-white, or tan to off-white, and then tan or cream. And then after that, it's brown, and then you get into brittle.
Yeah.
So what would you put these pages at? Me having a in real life look at them, I would say off-white, possibly tan to off-white or cream to off-white.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to put it. I mean, it's definitely not off-white to white. I mean, maybe up at the the best portion of the book, but like you said, you have to grade it to the darkest part of the page. Yeah. So yeah, I would say it's definitely off-white, if not cream to off-white.
Well, I would say, I always think of it as, if I'm ever going to sell a book, how would I sell it? I would say this is cream to off-white.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got to figure out what grade is this book. And I like to have a grade in mind and then see, after looking at my book here, and I don't have the book you have, by the way. I just have a regular Overstreet price guide. So I would assume, let's go with a 5.0. Is this better than a 5.0? Well, what's a 5.0 has? And here, I already highlighted some stuff. A 5.0 has moderate wear. Eye appeal is somewhat reduced because of the accumulation of defects. It has minor to moderate creases and or dimples. A minor to moderate spine row is allowed. A spine split of 1/2 inch may be present. Staples show minor discoloration. Paper is brown to tan with no signs of brittleness. The centerfold may be loose but not detached. Minor tears may also be present. This thing is a lot better than that.
Yeah, I'd say for sure, even looking at it from this distance. Because like I'm looking at a 5.0 in this book. Yeah, that staple stress, raw chew, foxing, corner chip, color chips, browning, blunted corners, split. So fine tear and still a 5.0.
So what I do then is jump a whole grade point and see if it matches there. So a 6.0, which is a fine, that's an above average copy, shows minor wear but still relatively flat and clean. No significant creases. This book doesn't really have any creases in it. Eye appeal is somewhat reduced because of slight surface wear and the accumulation of small defects, especially on the spine and edges. Now, this actually doesn't really have any spine ticks on it, but you can tell along the edges here, it's got some color rub off. So it does have some issues on its cover. And a fine condition book appears to have been read a few times and have been handled with moderate care. Some minor.
It is word for word what my book says.
Oh, really? We must be reading from about the same thing. There can also be a 1/4 inch spine split or severe color break. Staples show minor discoloration, minor staple tears, and an accumulation of stress lines may be present. So I'm not reading the entire 2 paragraphs word for word, but based on that, I would say this book is there, maybe slightly better.
Now let me just read a 7 for because
Go.
An above average copy that shows minor wear but still relatively flat and clean with outstanding eye appeal. A comic book in this grade appears to have been read a few times and has been handled with care. A small accumulation of minor defects is allowed. Minor wear beginning to show, possibly including minor creases. Corners may be blunted. Inks are generally bright with a moderate reduction in reflectivity. Stamped or inked arrival dates may be present. No obvious soiling, staining, or other discoloration except for minor flockling. A slight spine roll may be present, as well as possible moderate color break. Staples may show some discoloration, slight staple tears, and a small accumulation of light stress lines may be present. Paper is cream to tan, but not brown. No hint of acidity or odor in newsprint. Does that book have a spine tear or split or anything like that?
Has no split or tear at all on the spine.
So that's why I was reading a 7, because from where I'm looking from it, the differences in the description from a fine to a fine / very fine include stuff like that. And if it doesn't have that, I might start looking at it with that in mind.
So what I like to do is grade as if I'm going to sell it. And this happens to be one of the books that I'm going to be selling soon. So what I would say is I would give it a 6.0 to 6.5 because I want to be as harsh as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it's always better to err on the side of caution, but you also don't want to sell yourself short that much. So, you don't want to drop it down a grade and a half if you think it,
Right. So I would go with a 6.5, but in my own personal opinion, it could go as high as an 8, but it would not go above that.
From looking at it from
probably
this
a 7.5.
From this distance, I mean, without seeing the spine and like the corners and everything, I was going to say 7.75. Just my initial gut looking at that book.
Well, I can do one thing for you. Here's my spine.
Yeah. So, I mean, that wasn't super focused, but I could still see the black clearly, and I didn't see a whole lot of breaks in it.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I would say if I were going to guess, I would say between a 7 and 7.5.
Yep. So me being very harsh, saying a 6 to 6.5 is a guarantee of a happy customer.
Yeah, I would say a 6 is low. I'd be surprised if it came back as low as a 6, but a 6.5, I would say, like, you could safely say that if you want to, make sure that you're selling something accurately to your customer. But yeah, I'd say a 6 is cutting it a little low for my estimation.
All right. Well, I appreciate you doing this with me, and we'll see based on the views if people like this. It takes a little longer with 2 people, but that's to be expected. But maybe this grade by consensus is a good idea, or maybe it's a horrible idea and I never should have done it. We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, and the other thing is, like, taking the time to actually look at a book this closely before you send it in, especially older books, is definitely worth it, because like we were talking about color touch and missing pages and stuff like that, you don't want to spend the time and the money to send something in and find out that it has a cut coupon or a missing page.
This
or
black light is a $15 black light. A 9.8 of Wolverine #1 from 1988 is worth $150. If it has any kind of color touch, you immediately knock off at least $50.
Yeah. So you could save you one book. And that's not to mention like an older book like that, where the difference, maybe not in that book specifically, but, a huge key book like, I don't know, an Iron Fist 15 or or 14, or first appearance Sabretooth, or any sort of Bronze Age key, Hulkling 81. Like if that come back with color touch, that's gonna be a huge difference.
Yes.
And then
I saw a Hulk #1, Incredible Hulk #1 from the early 60s at a 7.0 with color touch, CGC graded, and they were wanting only $10,000 for it, and they had to wait about a month before it actually sold.
Yeah, and how much did the 7.0 blue label go for?
Like 40, 50,000.
That purple, it's a purple label, right, for color touch?
Yes, restored as purple.
That really can turn people off quite a bit.
Yes. Now, well, anyway, thanks again, Alec. Thanks everybody for watching this with us, and let me know in the comments. Hey, you like this grade by consensus? It takes a little longer, but we get opinions of not just one specific person. Or would you rather me just do these all my own? By the way, I've never done this before, but here is an upcoming book that will be graded.
Oh, nice.
And I'm going to do it right after we get through doing this, although it'll probably be days later for you guys, and I will do it most likely by myself. Anyway, thanks again.
Cool. Thanks for inviting me. Hope I offered some insight.
Thank you. And we'll see y'all later.